Hello everybody, Nathan here, and today we are going to be looking at how to create decorations for Minetest. And before you start thinking pretty much anything, let me explain what we're talking about here. So say for example you have created some phenomenal new node, whatever it happens to be. In our case it's going to be this Suzanne 1 model. Yeah, that's what we're going to use. We're going to use new mod Suzanne 1. And we just want this to randomly be scattered across the landscapes. And I know we've looked at this once using ABMs. And right here I have the ABM that actually does it. And this ABM pretty much will just put one of these Suzanne heads out. It's a monkey head. It's something from Blender. But I'm going to get rid of that, because we don't want to be using ABMs, because with an ABM we will continually put more and more of the node out. Whereas if we create a decoration, it'll pretty much, as the map chunk is generated, it will create the piece that we need. It'll throw out the nodes and everything, and it'll happen once, and that's it. So we are going to go ahead and call this decoration.lua. And save that. And I'm using Atom. And so I have my mod directory here, all the files in it, folders and everything. Obviously you can use any editor you want. Two things you do want to make sure you note though. In your depends, you do have to add default. If you don't put default in, your decorations will never show. And that's because decorations are... I don't know exactly, but it's due with the map gen. The map gen is part of default, I guess. I don't honestly know 100% for sure. All I know is when I was working on this for a mod I was creating, that I wanted to make some plants naturally spawn in the worlds, default had to be a dependency. And as soon as it was, it started working. Now, also to note, this is only going to work in freshly generated map chunks. If you've already been playing on a game and you add a mod and do a decoration, that decoration is not going to be appearing in any parts of the map that have already been explored. You would still have to use an ABM or better, an LBM to make it appear in those areas. But enough talking, let's get to coding. So first things first, we need to, I do love the autocomplete. We need to go ahead and register a decoration, TION, which, it starts off similar to how we do anything else. Again, another reason I love Atom. I had some people asking in one of my previous videos, so I just want to quick point this out here. It's under, you're saying what's under preferences. If you go to preferences, you can get packages, and then if you just search for Lua, you'll get Lua packages that'll highlight and syntax everything for you. So that's how you find them. The only reason I remember that is because it shows I have 2 updates for those 2, so I'm just going to go ahead and update them right now. But yes, that's where you find them. Just search for Lua under preferences. You'll find them. You'll get all the colored syntaxing and indentationing and all that good stuff that makes coding fun. Alright, so what kind of a decoration type are we going to use? Because we have 2 options. And I will link to the wiki page that gives you everything. But for right now, we're just going to use a simple, because this is going to be simple stuff. We have place on, which does exactly as you would expect. It simply tells the engine where to place these items. So we are going to go ahead and do default dirt with grass. And I believe we can put extra things in here, so we're also going to default desert sand. And we're also going to do default dirt, just because why not? Again, we're putting commas at the end of all the lines, just like how we would register anything else. And now we get to the confusing stuff, which isn't really confusing. It's just I don't know what it actually is doing. Whoops. Let me hit the right keys here. we have this sideline thing, which this is what the wiki says. Size of divisions made in the chunk being generated. If the chunk size is not evenly divisible by sideline is made equal to the chunk size. So we're talking about map chunks here. But I don't know how big a map chunk is. I probably should, but I don't. Anyway, so that is, in the example in the wiki, they have it at 8. I had it set at 16 in the mod that I created. Feel free to explore with it and see what you can break. And then we have something that I can explain. So I'm a math major. Not a math major. Whoops. First off, that plus sign should not be a plus sign. That should be an equal sign. We are talking about noise parameters here, people. Noise parameters. So we have an offset, which is quite simply the offset of the noise. There's really not a good way to explain how that works at all. You'd have to actually know it's Perlin noise. So if you understand Perlin noise, I guess this will all make complete sense to you. I do not know Perlin noise. All I know is changing these will make things change. But we're gonna stick with an offset of 0. Scale, that basically... So, what's a good way to explain this? Kind of think of like a sheet of elasticy paper, I guess. And on that sheet of paper, you draw a pattern of whatever, some kind of scribble. You scale it. As you pull that paper farther apart, that scribble that you made becomes wider and wider spread. So, as you change your scale around, you change how close and how far apart your decorations will be placed. Basically. In essence. Whoa, I did not want to hit a... In essence, that's what you're doing. So if you have a higher number, you will get more of these items being placed. In this case, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and we'll put a lot of them out, just so it's more likely we stumble upon them. Now the spread is pretty much talking about the scale. So we have the scale, and then we have the spread, which basically says in how large of an area is this stuff being shoved out. So we have, and I'm just going to go ahead and stick with 100 for everything. Y equals 100, and Z equals 100. Because why not? Seed is, I've never understood why it's called seed, but it's basically just a random number. So here's the thing to the, if you're doing multiple different decorations, so say for example, because in my example this is what I was doing, I was adding some new cacti models to the deserts. Your seed basically is like the base for your noise. Every seed gives you a completely different noise pattern. Like even going from 50 to 51, your noise patterns are completely different. It's the base number used to generate this Perlin noise. So basically just randomly select a seed, and you could use a seed of 0, or you could make your seed whatever size you want. It really doesn't matter. There's probably no reason to go something stupid crazy along like that, but you could. It's not going to cause a problem or anything. So seeds is pretty much just a random number that is used for the noise. Technically speaking, if you have 2 with the exact same seed and everything else set the same, it's going to try to place the items all on top of each other, which obviously is not going to work too well. Octaves, this again deals something with noise, which I don't know. I wish I did, but I really don't know. All I know is you need octaves and you can change them. Yeah. And then we have this persistency, which is just abbreviated as persist. Again, this is a noise thing, and I don't know enough about noises, so I really could not tell you. Why is there all this space here? Really could not tell you what all of that means. All I know is you can tweak it and make things change, which is fun. So, I mean, why not? And this is using a weird indentation system, but whatever. Okay, and then we have our almost two last values. We have a ymin. Yeah, wow. Ymin, which Y, I believe in Minetest, is your up and down. And you have ymax. This basically tells it at what elevations these items should ever exist. So we're going to say, actually, I'm going to change this to -10. And the maximum height I ever want to see this is at 150. So this item should never appear above 150. And then the last thing we need is to say, which node we're placing, which was Numad Suzanne 1. Alright, so we're going to save that file. We're going to save the ABM where we removed that, and we are going to go ahead and launch Minetest. Let's see here. I probably have to create a new world for this. I hope the new already exists. Wait, I don't see it. Okay, whatever. I really hope that this mod's not broken. I honestly did not try it out, so yeah. It could be a broken mod that won't run, which would be pretty bad. Okay, here we go. Woohoo! Brand new world. Let's try to find me some Suzannes randomly placed on the terrain here. Okay, yep, I just verified XYZ is how your coordinate system works. I just jumped and our central number is fluctuating there. So we are definitely going correct there. I probably should have set the scale way super higher. We are on dirt with grass. I am not seeing any Suzannes here. Let me, of course I don't have any kind of creative or unified inventory running. That would have been too easy. Okay, well. Let's go ahead and exit to menu and put creative mode on. Flint couldn't load. I don't remember trying to load Flint. All I want to do is make sure that this Suzanne is available. It's not. Okay. So what does a new mod require that I don't have? It needs more fire. And it needs Flint, I guess. Which... Flint is its own mod. Okay. Let's see if we get Suzanne now. There we go. Okay, so we have our Suzanne heads. So now we need to go find some new map area, because again, this has all been explored. So nothing's going to exist there of these decorations. So I'm probably going to go ahead and do so I can do fast and free move. Go ahead and turn the minimap on, though the minimap is not going to show me any new terrain. Or I shouldn't say that. It's not going to show me any of these Suzannes, because they're going to be too small to be showing on the map. Okay, I feel like this should be into new terrain. Supposed to spawn on desert sand. Is anybody seeing any Suzanne heads out here? Because I'm not. Yep, nope, not seeing any. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and close that and pull decorations back up. Let me just make sure everything's right here. Oh! Duh! Duh! I'm an idiot. Duh! Yeah, we do need to, load that file at some point. That'd probably be a good idea. Because without that file, nothing's going to happen. As we just seen. Man, sometimes I can be so stupid. Decoration. And I even meant to do that. at the beginning of the video. I was like, yeah, there's these couple things we have to make sure we do. And then it completely slipped my mind. Alright, so after quite a bit of looking, I have found some. Yay. It turns out they look absolutely nothing like Suzanne monkey heads. But as you can tell, that does say new mod Suzanne 1. Which is weird, because if I look for a Suzanne here in inventory, and I keep forgetting to just enter, they clearly show monkey heads here, but when I place these items, I actually get triangles. Yeah. So, evidently at some point I changed what the model was for Suzanne. And, yeah, I didn't remember doing that. But I found out why I couldn't find these anywhere else in the entire map. And that's because I'm an idiot. And forgot the letter T in default. Dirt with grass. Default dirt had it, but you don't stumble upon too much dirt on the maps. So I bet now, if we go in here and we travel into some newly generated chunks, we should start seeing some of these beautiful rock triangles sitting on the grass. Here we go. Hey, some new chunks. And we have got a lot of stone chunk doodad weird things here. I mean, look at this. Man, that is insane. That is probably a little higher than we want, I'm guessing. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and, now that we found this, let's drop our scale down quite a bit. And, you know, why not? Let's change this around. Change that to 31. And let's change what our decoration is. What else do I have that's different? We got this new mod wall thing. I have no idea what wall looks like, but whatever. We're going to grab this. Let's copy and paste that over. Oops, did not want to do that. Now we will save this. Hop back into the world. This is going to... These will all still stay that way. That's not going to change at all. And we're going to go ahead and run out to some new map chunks, which I just seen some mountain stuff generating out here. I already see some of these wall things. Okay, so this is from the my landscaping mod. Okay. So the smaller the numbers on the scale, the more sparsely populated they are. Oh man, it's great when you know how to type and you spell your words correctly. It's a great, amazing, phenomenal thing. I wish I was better at it. Alright, so we have a large chunk here that doesn't have any. Which could be because it was already generated, but nope, it's not, because here some is. Sitting in the grass. So yeah, decorations, you don't have to use them for plants. They can be for relics. You know, you can have... decorations will always spawn on the ground. They will spawn in air. So it's not something that's going to be placed underground. These would all be things above ground. For example, the cacti are all... Wow, and there's a lot of cacti right here. These cacti are all decorations. And let me see if I can do this real quick, just as an example. I don't think I can, because I believe it has to be done differently. Nope, it doesn't. Okay. So, with a decoration, we can specify a height, which is basically how many times it's going to be stacked. And we can do a height max, underscore max, which basically says the tallest it'll ever be. I'm just doing 10 for effect. The default cactus in game is a height of 3, height max of 4. So you get a little bit of variation. But we can change that up a bit. And by a bit, I mean a lot. By tweaking these values. And I'm hoping this is still... Oh yeah, look at that. These gigantic chunks of wall. Because everybody needs giant, super tall walls existing in their worlds. Man, that looks so goofy. But yeah, you can do that. You can also, and I'm not going to get into this too much because I don't understand the schematics, because I've never used them. But you can use schematic type parameters, which basically all you do is save a schematic from in the game. And I don't know for sure how that works, but it is as an MTS file. And then basically it places that. I will link to some of the code, or I'll even just throw it right on my website, that shows how a schematic runs. It honestly is pretty much the exact same, except instead of decoration being, in this case, new mod wall, it's foobar.mts, where foobar is the name of your schematic. Of course, you can also declare the whole schematic directly in the file here, instead of having it in a separate entity file. I don't know what the advantage to that necessarily is, but it can be done. For example, I am looking at one in front of me, again on a different computer, and this is for the tree trunks sitting in the ground. Basically, you just declare what size your schematic is, and then the names of the files that would sit there, probabilities, rotations, fun things like that. But this was the simple decorations. There are the I don't know if I'm supposed to call them complex or something, or I guess no, they would all be considered simple. You just either have it where it's the single file here, or the single node, or where it's a schematic based, which would be more for like doing your trees. Anything that's made up of multiple nodes, generally speaking, would be how your schematic works. And I could have sworn I'd just seen a color blink on this S. Illuminati confirmed. Or it was something in my eye. I don't know. I'm going to have to check the video. But there we go. Hopefully that helped out a little bit. Even though I don't know anything about Perlin noise, I'm sure, 100% certain. In fact, take that back. I am 100% certain that you can find a lifetime supply of information on Perlin noise on the internet. Tons of it. So much of it that your brain would explode if you tried to read and understand all of it. Unless, again, you're a math major, which I am not. In which case, more power to you, dude. There was no point for you even watching this video because you already knew what you were doing, I'm sure. Anyways, guys, that wraps it up. Hopefully I can edit this so it isn't too stupid and fixes all the mistakes I made in recording, because, yeah, there were a lot of those. Thanks for watching my video. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, would you consider giving it a thumbs up? I appreciate all those I can get. I'm on social media, peoples. Follow me. Google+, Twitter, Facebook. I always post all of my videos on those platforms, or links to my videos on those platforms, as soon as they go live. Which this means prior to the release on YouTube. You can watch them before anybody else. You can also visit my website, nathansalpat.com, and see all my videos there. A really nice website, if I do say so myself. I did design it, so I might be a little bit biased, but I still think it's decent. If there is a mod you would like me to review, just click on the Request Review button right there. Takes you to a form on my website. You just type in the information, hit the submit button. I get it, look at it, record a review, post it online. You watch. We all profit. The world's a better place. Yeah, I don't know about that last bit, but hey, do it anyways. You got nothing to lose. I'll catch you next time.